recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at Zed Games AU.
Hey. Hi. I am Maylee.
Hi.
I'm here for Zed Games here on 4ZZZ, and I'm joined in the studio tonight by
Me. It's a me, Caroline.
It's a me.
It's a me.
And it is a me, Paul.
A meatball.
A me.
A meat Paul.
Ready, set, meatballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just waiting for Lana Rain, and then I was going to go, woo! It's rain time. Bring in the rain. See, no one's giving anyone any reactions tonight.
Yeah.
We're all in separate studios. Caroline is on...
You're a meter away from me.
Is that a request for more closeness or less closeness?
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Everyone's wiggling fingers together except for me because I'm the classy one.
Yes.
How's it been going this week, my friends?
Games.
It
Played
is
them.
good. I'm busy at work, but I'm excited and I'm getting through the work because soon there'll be holidays, which means games.
Yes.
I'm playing games still, but more games.
There's current sales on because of Black Friday and all this blah 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 stuff. And also I was a little bit birthday drunk, and I procured a lot of random games to my Steam list, which I will be making my way through eventually. I got the erotic sequel to Hand Simulator.
Oh. Okay.
Where I'm like,
Is it Foot Simulator?
No, it's still hands, but this time it's erotic.
Oh, okay.
So
the foot's in a DLC.
Yeah, pretty much just what I saw, like a hand going towards the other person's face and just like the finger just awkwardly going in their mouth. I was like, yeah, this is what I want in my adult
So like a hand ragdolling into someone's mouth.
Yeah, it's a hand simulator. Yeah, I previously covered it on my trash.
How explicit
stuff.
is this game?
I'm not saying the full name because it's an adult game. It's very explicit.
Okay,
the original Hand Simulator is not. There's a lot of spin-offs and different content. It's just one of those stupid physics games, and you know.
Hands going in mouths and other places.
And others, yes. Yeah.
Did you pick up any non-explicit games?
Oh, hells yes. A few gaps of things that I just used to have on like my PSP, and I'm like, you know what? I'm probably not pulling that out again anytime soon, so let's just buy it on Steam. They had just a whole bunch of like just the sort of packs that you pick up 12 games for $1 sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's
You're the person I think I would judge the least out of binge buying games on Steam, which I am guilty for. And I'm like, why are we all doing it when no one are going to play them? But I feel like you actually do play most of them.
I do.
Which is impressive.
The only reason I hadn't loaded up most of them was, one, the game that I'm reviewing, but also I was still playing demos that I had downloaded from the last Steam Next Fest, and I didn't want them to disappear before I could do it. So yeah, it's been a wild time. And, you just sort by the lowest reviews and the lowest price, and off we go on a wonderful adventure together, trying to find something odd, something that will grab you. I think tonight we've got a bit of oddness to share.
I mean, if you've got a hand game, that will indeed grab you.
I have a lot of hand games. I think Super Hand is like
we're gonna have a hand tonight.
It's a handy evening.
Hand games, but that's not tonight. And I think we're getting too caught up in the hands, so maybe we need to get into a bit of news.
Bit of the news.
Yeah, no hands there.
Sweet.
That we know of.
We have news.
Yeah. There we go.
I've got music. Now it's really loud. I'm playing the music. It's news time.
Okay, here we go. News! There we go. If we hit that last one, I think that's what we do from now on.
I forgot we have new news music. I'm so out of the loop.
That's okay.
I don't like change.
So,
Put it
first
back.
up today, we have a little bit of censorship refused classification in Australia. Hunter x Hunter, Nen x Impact, or Cross, probably crosses in the Japanese world, has been refused classification by Australian Classification Board. On the website, they say, please contact us for more information. So I did. So this is, I haven't seen anywhere. I'm not going to build it up too much, but a little bit more information on why it was refused classification. The classification board noted that the computer game contains a scene of visual depiction of implied sexual violence, where an adult male exposes himself to persons under the age of 18 years. The depiction of implied sexual violence cannot be accommodated within the R18 classification. Furthermore, the board noted in its report that the implied sexual violence is implicitly condoned as appropriate due to a lack of resolution of the act through the game's narrative, and that it is not justified by context. Actual sexual violence is not permitted within the R18 classification category. Implied sexual violence that is visually depicted, interactive, not justified by context or related to incentives or rewards is also not permitted. So,
Some normal anime stuff then?
yeah, well, I mean,
Well,
it's
on
a
the
fine
bad
line.
end of anime.
Yeah.
The general stuff with the classification board over the years, I've spoken to a few members over the years and stuff. It's changed a little bit. The hard thing about Australian classification is that it is basically a tick box.
Yeah.
If you have, and this goes back to sort of like the first big banning, which was a game called Dreamweb back when I was young, so a million years ago. And it was a scene where two people are having sex, fine. Someone walks into the room and shoots them both. Violence, fine. The fact that they were in the same scene made it banned, because it is specifically one scene, those two things. Now here it's talking about someone flashing under 18s, and it's not particularly condoned in the game. What that actually comes down to, there was some talk online that maybe it was just a like a taunt in the game or something. It's a ArcSoft fighter. But we don't know the details of that yet. We probably have to wait for the game to release to see, or the company actually put it in. But
I mean,
also,
it sounds really bad how they say it. Like, I'm like, yeah, that sounds bad, but it probably isn't.
Yeah.
It's probably some
Well,
weird.
it could. Even Caroline, you saying just before, it's like, oh, standard anime stuff. It's like, well, yeah, there are a lot of anime things that are quite problematic, especially across cultures. So maybe they'll edit. There's also been quite a bit of precedent in recent years, because while I say the classification board is just if it has this banned, because when they increased the restrictions, they never changed the rules. They just allowed more intensity. So the actual guidelines never changed. That there has been a little bit more wiggle room where we get one of these things that seems a little bit crazy. I know the Bug Butcher was one where they banned the game because you picked up a syringe and the bonus was called speed. It's like, those things, I get it, but it was, But there's been a few recently where they have sort of wiggled a bit out of it without changing the content. We'll see what happens. I've got no expectations one way or the other. It can be a weird political ball game, which they're kind of, their hands are tied as everyone else, basically. It's because they've got a pretty strict system to work under. But we'll see. I mean, especially if it's just a taunt or something, imagine you just remove, push a button, hide it. Okay, next up, we got the X-Defiant shutdown. Ubisoft has announced that X-Defiant will be shut down, and starting from today, new downloads and player registrations will no longer be available. They're still going to release the next season of content, and the game will remain active until June 3, 2025. Anyone that's made a purchase of the Ultimate Founders Pack, that you'll get a free refund. And anyone that's made a purchase in the last 30 days for anything will get it as well. This is just kind of sad. It was a game, focused on the hardcore. When it was in beta, it got huge numbers. It did incredibly well. Just sort of dwindled. But unfortunately, this has also come with an announcement of the shutdown of 2 studios, Ubisoft Osaka and Ubisoft San Fran, and also layoffs at Ubisoft's Australian office down Sydney, who were one of the main studios on X-Defiant. At least not everyone at those companies is fired, They moved to other projects, moved to other studios. The Sydney office isn't closing down, but they are having layoffs. It's estimated to be about 300 people are going to be affected by that. So it's pretty wild. It is a very hard time in the AAA and gaming as a whole. If you actually want to make money and live a actual reliable, safe life. Yeah, there was an excellent thread earlier this year by Rami Ishmael that was the craziness of people leaving AAA for the security of indie, which is just not how this deal was supposed to work. If you work for a big multi-billion-dollar multinational company, you're supposed to be secure, and that's not true anymore.
No.
It's wild. And lastly, in big news, Warcraft 1 and 2. The super popular games. Well, they were.
Never heard of them.
They are being removed from sale from GOG, previously Good Old Games. And this also prompted Good Old GOG to make an announcement that games that are removed from their service that they have once released, they will continue to support because part of their philosophy is keeping those things running. So if you have already bought it, or you plan to buy it before December 13th, when it's going to be removed from sale, they will still keep patching that and making it work to the future. It's, let's say, it's not announced, but let's be pretty honest about this. They're about to release remasters of 1 and 2, and that's probably what I want to pull the old ones from sale. Those remasters, I wouldn't say they look great. When I originally saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't know why people are saying this looks bad. It looks like I remember. They were showing the old graphics. Then they cut to the new graphics. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Just a little soulless. Which brings us to some upcoming game releases. Starting tomorrow, we finally get the release of Marvel Rivals. You might have just been playing it because it's been in open beta for a long time, but that's finally getting released for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. December 9th. Should bring us Indiana Jones and the Great Circle for Xbox Series X and S and PC, and on Game Pass on PC and Ultimate Game Pass on Xbox, because that's all a thing now. It's starting to get too confusing. I can't be a fanboy anymore. The remaster of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 is coming out to pretty much everything on December 10th, along with Mighty Morphin's Power Rangers Rita's Rewind.
Hell yeah.
Which is also pretty much on everything, except not on Switch. Surprised. Because that's just a 2D fighter. Like beat 'em up.
Yeah.
And then also we should be seeing Monument Valley 3, which is on Netflix. Which is actually a bunch of platforms and it just downloads. So probably on your phone, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the end of
the news.
News.
You want more music? You want news?
No. I just want to say news. And that was
news.
leaving a gap. We go all together.
I was just
1, 2, 3. News. Get informed, idiots.
Yeah. I think you're very smart, listeners.
You can't know that.
I think it. I feel it.
You feel it in your feel it in your fingers.
Now we're back onto hands. I'm putting us on music before we talk about hands.
You're listening to Zed Games at 4ZZZ.
You're listening to Zed Games on 4ZZZ.
Oi mate, you're listening to Zed Games at 4ZZZ.
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 Got a bit carried away.
Hello.
Hi.
Me too. Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back to Zed Games here on 4ZZZ. We didn't have any weird technical things going on 3 seconds before.
Absolutely not.
We're
Everything
here.
here is perfect.
We're queer.
We are.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you've had some news? Can you... I'm being judged. But we've had some news, so I would like to now share with you
A poem by Maylee about
Caroline.
birds.
No, I hate birds. I'm scared of birds.
It's almost a haiku.
Caroline,
Yo,
I know you have a review prepared,
I do.
but I would like to do the worst thing possible and put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
Can you shorten this review to 3 words? Wait, what's the game first? That's probably...
The game is Mouthwashing.
And how are we reviewing Mouthwashing in 3 words?
Horror.
Gross and weird.
Me scared.
Horror me scared. I like it. That's good.
Yo.
I'm keen. You've whet my appetite. Let's go.
Wet. This game is actually pretty wet in some places, honestly.
Don't like that.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't,
I've already
because
started.
it's a psychological horror developed by Wrong Organ, published by Critical Reflex, released on the 27th of September 2024. It was $18.95 Australian on Steam, and it is Steam Deck compatible, so you can sit on the toilet and play it and have the poo absolutely literally scared out of you.
I didn't do the last bit, but I did play it on the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Okay, Mouthwashing. Oh, I'm so good at talking.
Mouthwashing.
Mouthwashing is a first-person horror game with PlayStation 1 style graphics. It's retro and crunchy and leans into the glitched aesthetic as a part of the storytelling. Between chapters, the screen will freeze and then bleed into the next screen as you turn the camera. It's right there in the Steam page. The story, you are following the dying crew of a shipwrecked space freighter with zero chance of rescue. There is no happy ending. There are no heroes. Just the 5 crew members as they slip into despair or insanity. There's all the good environmental storytelling that gamers love to have in, their Elden Rings, except it's actually not in the descriptions of the items. It's all right there. You can have a look around and sort of...
I'd say this is the first time Mouthwashing has had a comparison to Elden Ring.
Let's hope it's not the last.
There's also the ship itself. It's like a 6-character. The way the environment changes throughout the story gives a good indication as to exactly how screwed up everything is becoming. When I played the game, I had been spoiled on the story, the ending, basically everything.
That's rude.
But no, that's what got me to play it, honestly, because I do not play horror games.
That's fair.
I am scared. I don't like spooky stuff, but basically this aesthetic and the story was enough to, hook me in. I'm like, oh, I really want to play it. So I was so brave. I was so brave when I turned the volume right down as I played it during night for some reason, and then had to nope out at several points and minimize the screen to make it very small so I could get through it. But I was brave. It has a non-linear storytelling style, just like my review, jumping around everywhere to the important bits of the story, playing with what you know, and all building up to an utter gut punch of a climax. It relies more on atmosphere than jump scares, although there is a couple there. The game is very claustrophobic. The whole game takes place inside the ship, awash in a false sunset. There are no windows, and the ship distorts and warps with the character's mental state. Hallways stretch on forever, posters change, faces stare at you from the metal grating of the floor. The music definitely adds to the sense of the horror. Is all distorted. There's sounds of babies crying faintly in the distance and just crunchy and wet in some places. I had to look up a guide in a few spots, but given enough time I could have figured it out myself, but I was really scared, so I wanted to hurry up the bits.
Through.
Yes, it's I had a limited amount of bravery in me, and it could not be spent figuring out some of the bits. Basically the game, it's a true tragedy. The ending was set in stone from the beginning, and there's nothing you can do to change it. All you can do is take responsibility.
Yeah. I love the aesthetics that this team put together. I think I know why you say PS1 graphics, but it's well beyond that. The actual animation and the detail on the characters, but it then takes it down to that lo-fi route that is so popular in horror for good reason, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's almost cartoony, but it's still gross as hell.
Yes. There's a lot of gore, body horror type stuff. Yeah. Speaking of sounds, there is an iconic sound from this game, which is you have to, at certain points of this game, give the captain, who has been, after the intro, he's just in sick bay, you have to force feed him his meds. So what we're going to do here, we're going to
we're going to play it. Caroline Betty's going to take her headphones off, and you, just a warning here, this is a bit of a gross sound. So
I've put the volume down for you.
we'll see.
Oh.
It's so come back in 20 seconds. Oh, there we go. Just opening up the pill bottle.
Yep.
Take your pills.
Yep. Because at this point, the captain has been in an explosion. He has lost all of his limbs and basically all his skin. He's just a wet little guy wrapped up in bandages on a medical bed.
A wet little guy.
Oozing.
That is the best description. That was something else that started playing on my computer. Sorry.
He's an oozy guy.
An oozy fella.
Yeah. And it's disgusting. I was so uncomfortable playing it.
It's really good characters, and it really gets to you.
Yes.
Like that sound, so many people are like, I just had to turn the sound off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it, but also I love it.
Yes. It does have a soundtrack on Spotify that I listened to today as I was writing the review. I was just being able to enjoy it without the absolute horror of the game. Really nice.
Yeah.
And it's not all bad. There's like moments of lightheartedness that sort of help contrast the horror and go, yeah.
They give the characters enough time to be people, not just things.
Yes.
So you do get those
makes
relationships.
it worse.
Which I think is
makes it more effective. Yeah.
I think that's why so many people have really enjoyed it, because they're like, all these characters, I love them. Oh no, oh no, oh no, these characters. Oh no, please.
If you are interested, there is the previous game by the developer, How Fish is Made, is a free game that you can get and download. It's not exactly the same, but it gives you an idea of their sensibilities. And since I played it, they've added to it, and I believe that the additions link it to Mouthwashing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a prequel sort of ish. Prequel-ish.
Connected.
It's very surreal, just like parts of...
Well, you spend most of the game as a fish flopping around.
Yes. Yeah. Well, in Mouthwashing, you spend the time watching the ship basically warp with your mind, basically, and you're trying to figure out who you are, what's going on, why this is happening. Just the storytelling's so good. It starts with the ship crash, and then just skips around a whole bunch. And a lot of the story isn't actually outright stated. You're going to get it from hints and what's not being said.
So, in summary, horror me scared?
Horror me scared. Play it. It's good.
I think mine, gross and weird, that works too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you 6 words. Horror me scared, gross weird.
Well, you took out the and, so it's only 5.
Yeah.
We've got one
5.
more word to use.
Capitalism.
Moist capitalism.
Yeah, because there's the horrors of capitalism in there as well.
There always are.
It's always there.
I think I'm going to take us away to a little musical break so we can forget
A little ditty.
about the moist capitalism and the sound noises.
Don't worry, there's a lot more moist coming up in the episode.
No, I'm gonna take us to something very upbeat and fun.
Weekly Dose of Science on 4ZZZ is now available as a podcast.
I learned that you can hear the difference between different water temperatures when they're poured. I'm going to pour one after the other into a different glass, and you have to tell me which one is which temperature. I've got a hot and a cold. Right, here's the first one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm saying cold.
It sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Here's the second one. Well played.
Shut up. Search No Idea 4ZZZ on your favourite podcasting app. That's spelled K-N-O-W, like no idea. It's a visual pun on an audio platform. I don't know why we did it.
Hey. I'm Maylee.
Sup?
I'm
You
Paul.
are?
Oh, no.
Caroline.
There was a point that came after that. I took the initiative beforehand.
It's okay.
I'm very sorry, team. So that was Caroline.
You're forgiven.
And
Yeah.
can I be pointed at? Oh, I love a good simulated finger. Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hi.
We are Zed Games. This is
We are.
4ZZZ, and we've got another review for you.
Oh, that
What are
does
we
sound
reviewing
nice.
tonight?
We are reviewing the great. Well, I don't know if it is yet. I really buried the lead there. Sorry, we're closed.
Can I ask quickly 3 words?
Mhm.
And they can't be sorry, we're closed.
I can describe it.
Queer horror style.
I want this. It's on my wish list.
I do want queer horror style.
Yes. So, sorry we're closed. Sorry to have a very limited view of games tonight, but this is a horror game by an indie team, 2 people that make up Alamode Studios. And they've just released their debut game. It is this, and it is quite traditional survival horror, to the extent you can turn on tank controls in it. And when you are out in bed, you're being hunted by monsters, you're solving old-style Resident Evil puzzles. It's got a lo-fi aesthetic to it. In fact, a lot of the world has almost a Silent Hill gritty, rusty dirtiness to it. And you're like, okay, we've actually had a few of those this year, your Crow Country, stuff like that. Like, what's this? Well, as you would expect in a horror game, the main character is, of course, brightly blue-haired, has a pink, big jumper on, coat on that she has no shading on them at all, so it's just solid pink, solid blue, mini skirt. And you are Michelle, and you work in a convenience store. You've recently broken up with your partner, and you go home to bed. And then while you're in bed, a big bondage demon turns up and curses you. And you basically got 3 days to live unless you can break the curse. You're dragged into this world of angels and demons and all this stuff. And everyone is very flamboyantly dressed. They are expressing themselves, including their sexuality. So there'll be quite a lot of quite expressive characters in it. And the main structure of the game is actually, it lifts from a lot of things slightly. It's a little bit Persona. Before you go into a dungeon, which you'll do each day on your journey, you will walk around this little block that you live in, meet all the characters, chat to them, make choices. Those choices will lead you to one of 4 endings, which I discovered when early in the game I was given a choice and I had choice paralysis. And I just had to go, dear internet, should I? And that's said, well, if you go this one, it locks off 3 other endings. And there's 4. I'm like, oh, well, go the other way, which is you could do 3 in the first row and then the second. But because that was the one thing I looked up. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I have a save file right where I have to make that choice. So I can go back to that point. Nice. I don't have to start from the beginning to see that final ending, which I haven't seen yet. I've just seen the other 3. So at the moment, we're getting there. Very early on, you gain the power. You were scarred on your head, but this is actually a third eye. And this is where you get this great juxtaposition of this wild, vivid color and this dirty world. Because when you activate your third eye, you get about a 2-3 meter radius bubble around you of the other world, which when you're depending on which part of the world you're in, your area around you is really bright and happy and cheery, and you can see the reality of what some characters are. You reveal some characters because they don't exist in both worlds, stuff like that. So we've got this cool aesthetic. We've got a horror scene. What else? And we've got branching narrative, talking to characters, and it's a really interesting backstory they've got between the relationship between angels and demons, and a lot of it has to do with love and relationships and how those affect people, but also with this cool demonology. And it does a lot of, you have your story, Michelle, with this demon, the Duchess, but you also have a larger story that's going on in the world around you, and you just get tidbits of that. There's little bits here and there. It's a subtle sort of storytelling, newspaper here, whatever, some comments from someone. You can piece it together, but the main story is your story as Michelle. And weirdly, here's where I get to what actually makes this game really, really great. The combat.
Ooh.
So, you get an axe, and this axe is a big hypercolor weird thing.
I'm sold.
Then you get a pistol, and when you reload the pistol, it goes ding. You're like, oh, okay. Nice. So you can shoot enemies with a gun, and ammo is not super scarce, but still a bit survival horror scarce. But what the real trick is when an enemy is in your third eye zone, which is, let's say, a 3 meter radius around you, you can see their weak spots. And that appears as a sprite heart on their body. But you can only shoot their weak spots if you're the third eye. So you've got a choice. You can shoot things ineffectively from a long distance and be safe, or you can let them get right up to you and then try to hit those weak points. And as you hit them, so the real basic enemies, you just hit one and they're dead. But then it'll be like hit one, exposes another, bong, bong, bong. They stagger a little bit with each hit. So if you're fast, you go through, and that power then it powers up another weapon that you have, which is a one-hit kill weapon, which you'll need for some enemies that can't be just taken down with normal bullets. But what this means is you're letting everything get close. You really got to hit those shots perfectly, and especially if you're playing on a controller, that's a little bit rougher than with a mouse. And in this hypercolor, weird world and everything, this is the most tense I've been in a survival game in a long time. At one point, I was struggling so much, I went to the accessibility options just to see what was there. And you can turn on, because you heal by drinking bottled water, you can turn on a permanent bottled water in your inventory. and for part of it, I just said, screw it, I want to get through. I just chug the water. So it makes combat really fun. It's got really nice big boss fights with great music going through it, because it's got a really funky soundtrack, but then some parts have actual songs with lyrics and everything in them. It's a really funky game. It's got a great story, great characters, an aesthetic which really is like nothing else. It's really bold in its writing without being long-winded, so you're generally moving through things pretty fast, and it just has the most messed up character designs you've seen. I took so many screenshots of just, I need to share this. Nice. This is what they say an angel looks like in this world. This is cool. So Sorry We're Closed, available on PC on Steam for, I don't remember how much I paid. Money.
Was it worth it?
Oh, very much so.
Then that's all that matters.
This is a extremely good, and it's first-time devs. They started during the pandemic, and it's really unique while paying homage to stuff, but not treading that much ground that we've done before. That combat is so much fun.
Yeah, that sounds really
and
cool.
The world is really interesting. The lore they've made, and I'm someone that makes fun of lore, but I love lore. I just don't want it to be told to me constantly. And
so
this game
perfect.
doesn't. Yeah, it lets it to work out what the world is, and you can engage with it as much as you want. It's a very good game. About the only thing, it does have just those arbitrary ending choices. So you've got to literally play it twice to see all four. But the fourth sort of path, so it's kind of worth looking at where that starts. It is a bit different, so I'll give that a go later, I think.
It's $36.50.
Sweet.
Hell yeah, check it out. Support those.
It's got a great soundtrack as well.
Fortitude Valley's Netherworld presents Lost Souls Karaoke. Sing for your soul in one of 5 private air-conditioned karaoke realms newly unearthed within the bar, arcade, and diner. Book a room and put your soul on the line from Tuesday to Sunday via lostsoulskaraoke.com. Netherworld and Lost Souls Karaoke are proud sponsors of 4ZZZ.
They gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. No, that's
so
hedgehogs.
It's lots of people need to go fast, including us.
Yeah.
Because we're getting to the end of the hour.
We gotta go fast.
We talk too long.
We do.
We just love hanging and chilling and talking about games. But we're out of time.
I really let you just hang in there, didn't?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, Maylee, bring us home. Come on, bring us home. Maylee. Where's that poem about birds? Yeah.
West Virginia. I don't know.
Where Fallout 76 is based. I'm pretty sure that was West Virginia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't play it.
What, West Virginia or Fallout 76?
How would you play an American state? Is that a game?
It could be.
The game of politics. Let's get into it.
Oh, let's not.
With the 30 seconds we have left, that's a great idea.
So much room for nuance.
Bad people? Bad.
True.
Are you calling our listeners bad people?
No, I'm calling. Stop being mean to
like
the
I
listeners.
said, no
Paul.
room for nuance.
You're going to be banned.
Nuance. Yeah, anyway.
Sorry.
How many seconds we got left?
An amount. But before we go,
push
I
it
want to
to
ask,
the limit.
in the amount of time that we have left, give me recommendations for games to play at Christmas or holiday gatherings.
Always Jack Party games.
Oh yeah, the Jackbox Party games.
But it's so obvious.
But there's always more each year. They do new ones.
Mouthwashing. Put it up on the screen. Make your family uncomfortable.
That's bold. That's new. That's innovative. It's a bad idea.
Oh yeah,
but it's new.
Stop talking and nobody explodes.
That's true. There's a good one. I have done it with my friends.
Web
but
fishing.
I can only
for when you don't have anyone to hang out with on Christmas, so you just hang out with a bunch of randoms and go fishing together.
It'd be very peaceful.
Egg splat. It's where someone gets in the middle of a room and everyone else chucks eggs at them.
I don't think that's a video game.
Oh, video game. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Well, with that, I think it's time for us to go. We're going to go do some... We're trying out the egg
splats.
thing, and we'll let you know next week how it goes. Goodbye.
Bye!
Farewell.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.